Hello, everyone. Happy Monday. It's our time here with Jay-Z. And today we are going to do something weird, which is to talk about problems. Okay. Now, disclaimer, everything is okay because everyone's got a problem to solve. I mean, that's why I'm wearing my tools here. Like, we got my problem solving tools here. Like, it's okay to have problems, especially when you solve them. And so the reason we're going to talk to Jay-Z today is because he's going to try to problem solve. He's going to try to solve the Moira Press problems with manifestation theory. Is that what's going
All
on?
right. Yeah, sure. Yeah, sure. Go
Okay.
for it.
So like this is just I some people are gonna be like, oh, I can't believe they're talking about the problems. But like if I didn't have any problems running a whole business and a whole school, I would probably not be human. Because every chart has hard transits anyways. And so like Mars is squaring my Saturn right now with Uranus. The Uranus Mars conjunction is squaring my Saturn. So I'm like noticing all the problems right now. And so I was like, but I don't just sit in problems. I work through them with my team, right? Like that's how we do it. But you're so good at solving problems that I thought this would be fun to do on air.
All right, excellent. You got problems, Andy?
I got a lot of problems.
Excellent.
Yeah, are you ready?
All right, I hit me with one of them.
The first
Problem
problem
number
is that
one.
sometimes I feel like giving up.
All right. Okay, so here's something. When you said that you have problems and therefore you want to solve them, right?
Yeah.
I think that okay, so I was listening the other day to this course on brain science. And so the course on brain science was basically starts with like your reptilian brain, which is not really reptilian at all. But anyway, and then so you know how there are three responses? Well, there used to be two responses that we knew of, right? Fight or flight.
Mm-hmm.
And then somehow lately a third one has been added,
Is
which
it
is
freeze?
freeze.
Freeze.
Yeah. So fight, flight, or freeze
Okay.
are the two reactions that an animal would have to a difficulty in life, right? So, and where I'm going with this is it was a course about leadership, but it was like about brain science and then how that translates into like leadership styles or ways to manage and lead people. So basically, their premise was that there are these three options that people, well, in the modern world, we don't have to so much worry about wolves chasing after us with sharp claws, and we take flight or we freeze or like run up a tree or we fight them, you know? Uh, Instead, these are the responses that we have to everyday problems, right? And so the way that fight manifests is if you want to like hit your problem head on and then like be aggressive about it.
Mm-hmm.
Flight is when you want to run away from your problem.
Mm-hmm.
And freeze is where you're so overwhelmed by your problem you have no idea what to do.
Mm. Okay.
And then also correspondingly, when people are stressed out, they can be anxious, and that's a response that is a response to like a normal, like humans, something that's happening to them now, right? And that's how, and so when somebody comes to you and they're stressed out, if their tendency is to want to fight about something, then it's like you have to correspondingly react depending on what that kind of person and their inclinations would be.
Mm.
What do you think about that in the meta problem solving
I would say
arena?
that my chart is generally a fight chart because I have a Sun square Mars. So like I get blocked, I fight. I get blocked, I fight. But because the Uranus Mars is squaring my Saturn, I want to freeze or flight or like flight because Saturn is like boundaries and like walk away from and like take space and like, so I think just on this one transit, I'm like, maybe I need to walk away, maybe I need to take space. But like really there's no real reason other than my transit that I would be walking away. You know what I mean? Like most of the time I'm like, if we're blocked, we fight. If we're blocked, we fight. Like that's part of manifestation theory is like we always fight through to the uphold our vision. We're like, you know what I mean? Like manifestation is a fight. I feel like it's like fighting for positivity no matter what, or fighting for your vision no matter what kind of thing.
Mhm. Yeah,
Yeah.
I guess I would agree too, but and also I guess maybe because different challenges require different responses, perhaps that's why we have a group of friends who have different initial perspectives who can offer like the different kind of advice for that problem. Like if you're a fighter, maybe not all problems are equally solved with fighting back. Maybe a freeze response would actually serve you better because you need time to stop and consider all the options. And then you can make a better informed decision and take like a well thought out informed action.
Yeah, and I think that's so interesting right now. I am kind of freezing and not stopping altogether, but saying like what things at the Moira Press should be stopped, right? Because it's like I think in manifestation theory, we go forward with the vision, then you have to let the crowd respond and be like, okay, they like this vision, they don't super like this vision. Let's go forward with these things they like and not with these things they don't like. So I think you're right. Like now's a good time to freeze and kind of analyze like what is what, right? Because if I'm getting tired to the point where I'm going to stop, then I just need to stop some things, not all things.
Right. And then so you can have the energy to fight forward the things that will be impactful.
Yes, nice. Okay, okay. So we definitely don't want to give up because there's a whole community riding on the Moira Press. It's not just me. It's not just about me, number one. Number two, it's like I just don't give up. Like, what am I gonna do? Give up astrology and go into what? Like, I love astrology more than anything in the world, right? It's not will I do astrology or not. It's like how will I do astrology? What is the next step? Not like will I or won't I, right?
Mhm.
Do you ever feel like
Yeah.
giving up? Oh, go ahead.
No, no, go ahead. You
I
go
mean,
ahead.
do you ever feel like giving up?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Or it's I guess mostly what I do is I reconsider if I think something is that important that I want to keep fighting forward, or is it apt to be successful? Or do I feel like it anymore? Or maybe do I take a step back and think like, wait, what's the objective that I'm trying to accomplish right now anyway?
Right.
Because is the objective, and that's what, we've been talking about manifestation lately and about like our list of wants. And maybe that's it too. Like I've been getting my list of wants that has been progressively, well, for one, staying relatively the same every day when I write my new list of wants. I turn the proverbial page, or the metaphoric page because I'm doing it on my laptop,
Hmm.
and I start new and I write number one, this desire, number two, that desire, number three, and I have 10 of them. And actually now I'm adding to them and stuff. And in a way, sometimes I make them more specific and sometimes I make them more general
Hmm.
because maybe I get blocked in something that I'm trying to do and I reconsider, well, was that the emotional truth that I wanted, or was that just like one way that it could happen?
Hmm. Hmm.
So, what's your desire? Your desire is to have a thriving school of astrology in which lots of people learn to read their own charts or something?
Yes. Yeah, the Moira Press is robust and magical.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And do you feel like giving up on that?
No, that I want to no, that dream I still like, and I actually think we are living out that dream. Like if you look at what's going on, like we've moved beyond like just being robust and magical in classes, and like we have this whole robust magical YouTube thing going on. Like the gender and astrology debate is like really getting started, and like there's a lot of the students at the school and the community members are starting to like just hang out on YouTube and things like that. So it's like I think we are robust and magical, but it's just not how I envisioned it. I thought the classes would be super big, but what's happening is the YouTube interaction is getting super big. And like so maybe it's like I don't know, but do I quit on the classes? You know what I mean? And just go all in on YouTube, or then, it's just the question of like, I don't know, but you're right. Like I can still hold the vision of the Moira Press School as robust and magical, just extrapolate it outside of the classroom.
Yeah, well, for one, I gotta stop for a second and say I agree that the YouTube channel is getting awesome. And I was watching, I know we did a video about gender, and then other people have had the discussions and conversations with you, and we're all playing off each other. And yeah, I was watching the one with JL, and I think that's awesome. And I haven't watched the one with Thorn yet, but I'm excited to watch that one as well. So I'm really excited, and I, for one, don't want you to stop because I want to watch all these. And I think that, anybody that's watching this should watch those as well, because there's starting to be a really good collection and yeah, a thriving conversation, different people having different viewpoints. They bring their life experience to it, and their they have similarities but differences, and I think this is really awesome. And I do think that it is a successful and thriving school. So,
Okay, okay, all right. I'm almost back in the game. We got to talk about the other problems. Okay, so the second problem is low numbers at certain events. Not all classes have low numbers, and in fact, so
mhm.
that's like a lot of my classes have high numbers, and because I mean, it's I'm trying to share my crowd. I'm trying to teach my crowd, my small potatoes to fish. Like I'm not saying that in a negative way, but like when you produce young astrologers, they're kind of like it's like a small potato you're trying to grow into a big potato plant, and you're like, come on, the small potato, get over here. Like, let's have a class.
Mhm.
But like it's like I'm trying to help people grow, but like my crowd wants me in some ways. Like, no offense, I'm not trying to be a narcissist. I'm just saying, like, I've been working with my crowd for 20 years and like I'm married to them. Like I cultivate that relationship like I would a marriage. You know what I'm saying? And so I think there's a commitment factor going on both ways with my students. And but then we have some events that are really low numbers, like a lot of the guest teachers were getting like 0, 1. So it's like, what would you say about that? Do we stop guest teachers? Like what's that's a problem.
Well, I guess it depends what you want to get out of it, right? So, is it that you want to give people the ability to practice and learn? And if so, at what cost? Right? So is it that, I mean, you don't have boundless time and energy and effort. So maybe it's not that you don't want to like have lots of classes, even if some of them don't have high attendance, because you want to give those people that experience. Also, like the people that do show up, the ones or twos, like they're important as well. And so it's like, I like to think of things as like, when we were in local bands, and like it's your second band you've ever been in, and you get a show, and then like you try to get all your friends to come, but like your friends aren't used to coming, or you're not very good at playing your instrument yet, or whatever. Like that has been really formative for me, and I have appreciated like the opportunities to play shows like that. And also in those shows, I would be like, even if you're just playing for, the bartender, and they happen to like what happened at one of our shows, early
Oh,
shows, is
yeah.
like he was literally lighting a book of matches and setting things on fire in an ashtray behind the bar as we were playing with full enthusiasm to nobody. But I still thought that was awesome, and I was glad we, went all the way to New York City to play the show that nobody showed up. But like, we didn't have any fans in that town yet, like, so what could we do? But like, I didn't blame the promoter. I didn't blame the promoter for having nobody there. But on the other hand, if the promoter had been like, wow, that was a bust, and I can't keep spending all of my effort like putting on these shows if no one's going to come to them, I see that as well. So it's just, what are
And
you trying to get out?
so you had just handled the problem with a few questions, which I think is one of the reasons I like to talk to my team about the problems is like we really do need to ask these questions because one of the things is because we're trying for a magical and robust school, robust. Like when we have these small classes, like I feel like I've failed as a promoter. Like where it's like I can't promote as many events. Now you have to understand that I opened up the school for guest teachers for 3 weeks and we got booked out for like 6 straight months. That's how many people were hanging around wanting to take the stage. Like, so there's something to be said for how big the crowd around here is. Like, that's a big crowd. Okay. So, and I was like, oh, wow. Okay. Okay. And I gave everyone a fair shot, you know, and though I just feel like I can't, as a promoter, market that many events without professional marketing services. And like, I just don't have the funds to do professional marketing services. So, what do you think of this idea? We run through to the end of everyone who's booked. Everyone got a fair shot. They got a chance on the bill. And of course, if even one person registers or two people, then we show up and we like, burn stuff behind the stage and we're just like, yeah, you know what I mean? Then we give everyone a fair shake. And then, but then maybe we round it out in after August and we just say like the Moira Press is mainly these other events. What do you think of that? And the
Yeah,
YouTube
that sounds
channel.
legit.
Because we
What's
could
that?
also, because I was thinking we could also develop the like newer astrologers through YouTube videos instead of classes. Like we could say, oh, we don't offer classes for new astrologers anymore, but we do offer a YouTube video. Do you want to meet with us on YouTube and tell us what you're up to? Like, is that weird or is that what is that?
Yeah, no, you give them a different stage, right? That takes a different amount or a different type of effort, right? So maybe part of the problem is if you're gonna do it's like whether you're doing synchronous things or asynchronous things. So if you're saying there's a class on Thursday night at 7, that means you have to plan around it. You have to be there Thursday night at 7. They have to do that, and then they also have to get their audience to be available during the summertime on a Thursday night at 7. And I think all those combinations of things make it more difficult to get a larger audience.
Hmm.
But if you go to a venue that's asynchronous, in which you say, like, make a video and I'll make a video response, or I'll make a video and you make a video response, then you can do it when it's convenient for you.
Mhm.
They can do it when it's convenient for them, and the audience can attend when it's convenient for them.
Interesting. So, I mean, so from a monetization perspective, that would be philanthropy. Like that's me working for free, making YouTube videos for people. So I have to think about like how much. That's another one of my problems is I can only work for free so much,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
Because astrology is actually how I make my living, and I'm not a volunteer. You know what I mean? Like I'm a professor, and so it's like I'm not housed in a university. I'm housed in my own studio, but I have students all over the world, and that's why I live in a studio. It's not because I I could be housed in a university, but there's no university that would house what we do, you know? So it's just like, I don't work for free though, and that's the thing is like, I want to allow these people a platform and I really am a philanthropist at heart. But until I like get rich basically and then can do philanthropy all the time, that's not going to happen. You know what I mean? It's just like I don't see how that's actually viable. You know what I'm saying? The
Hmm.
only reason for me to get rich would be so I could be a philanthropist. Like I would be buying the same like nothing I already buy, which I'm just not a big shopper. You know what I mean? I'm like
Yeah,
I'm a
yeah.
giver of time and energy.
Well, and philanthropy is tricky, right? Because people don't appreciate things that they don't struggle for.
Mm,
I just gotta say that flat out. Like that unless somebody puts their skin in the game, they will undervalue the time, your time and effort, and overvalue theirs.
mm,
You
yeah.
know? So yeah, so what does it look like to you to give them a YouTube platform then? Like you would just do whatever you do already, and then they could join you on that platform by like commenting or making themselves somehow interesting by putting their time and effort to start to make themselves shine. Yeah?
Interesting. So you're actually right. Like if someone wanted to be involved with the school, they could just make a YouTube video rebuttal. Let's say they want to be involved with the gender conversation. They make a YouTube rebuttal of their own and post it on our post, and then we would start talking to them. And that we would do. I mean, you would talk to students too, right? Like if in the gender discussion, like we're there for that, you know?
Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely. And we can talk to them in the comments again, like asynchronously on the YouTube videos. And maybe we should start doing that like
Mhm.
as a thing.
Interesting.
And
Okay.
and that might help, that would help. See, now that would have those people help the YouTube platform to grow. Because I mean, to be honest, the more subscribes and likes and stuff like that you get, the better conversations you have in the comments, the better the growth of the YouTube channel will happen. And then, yeah, people will actually be contributing to making something grow instead of having you make something grow so they can like ride the coattails, you know?
Interesting. Yeah. So this is where the transit I'm into Saturn, it's good to have boundaries because it's like we're creating a structure for everyone to dance on. It's like one of the things that's kind of fun about being kind of well known is that you have a big crowd for people to surf on. Like I'm basically like, all right, go crowd surfing in here, you guys. Like, and when I gave everyone the stage, I was like, all right, you guys want to teach? All right, go. And then, but then I didn't know it would go out for 6 straight months. Like, I mean, I'm talking like hundreds of people came in to like get up on the stage, and so it's like, and and I'm happy to do this or whatever. It's like a grand experiment, but it's like we don't want to take someone who's supposed to be crowd surfing out of the crowd and put them on stage, and then like, and then they're like, oh, it's like I think sometimes it's like keeping people in the right, right area for like we have a big stage, a main stage, and we have a big crowd, but we're like now starting to corral everything so that it's like it's going to function successfully for all people concerned, right? Like this is why I asked you to help solve the problem. See how you're actually helping us like create and carve a new vision to manifest as we go forward. It's like when I get overstim, it's because I don't know what to manifest. It's not like I can't manifest what we've decided on. It's just like, what are we manifesting? Okay, now we're manifesting crowd surfing, like so I would love a big mosh pit in the YouTube, where it's like gender and astrology vids everywhere. It's like, it's like I started the conversation, then you and I started it, and now there's like 4 or 5 gender vids, and it's like I want hundreds of gender vids because one of the critiques for the Portland School of Astrology is that like I was anti-trans because I wasn't. It's a long story, but like I'm not anti-trans. I'm just a radical activist in astrology, which well, I was just taking a radical approach, basically, but that doesn't mean I'm anti-trans. It's like I'm a radical. But anyway, the point is like I want us to get radical and like let's freaking mosh on the gender topic. Like let's go. Like I want to see a flurry there. But you're right. I can't curate every video and be on there with every person. I can only do that to get the conversation started, and then we have to let people fly. Would you agree?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Because the next problem I have is lots of people want to collaborate, and I just might not. Like, I just had an email come in, someone who has same interests and stuff and wants to teach a class. And like, now I don't know what to say to these people. Do we say, okay, you can teach a class? What would I say to people who are now reaching out for a class?
Yeah, that semester is over.
Okay. So in the 7 habits of highly effective people, it's like everything is supposed to be a win-win. So there's got to be a way to make a win-win with every person who reaches out. It's like, um,
Hmm.
you know, I could maybe invite them to the school to become involved in classes or, you know, I don't know. What do you think? How can we make a win-win with everyone who approaches us?
Well, I do see that you were trying to ask them that, like, what are you trying to get out of this? What are you trying to contribute? Like, it's interesting how we think that we should create the win-win situation, but how about the other person create the win-win situation and start giving you ideas? Like, is it too much to ask of somebody else to say, like, let's have this be a win-win situation? What's your ideas?
Ooh, that's a really good idea because I get stuff that we have no idea what makes a win for them. We actually
Yeah,
really don't know.
yeah.
Oh, that's brilliant. Okay, okay, okay. I like that. I'll put out there that the Moira Press works on win-wins, and so we want to create a win-win situation. Although we're not taking guest teachers anymore, so these are the things we offer. What would be a win-win for you, or something like that?
Yeah, 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 and here's a good challenge. When you talk to somebody, just say that, all right? Like, it'll be a win-win situation, and I want your ideas. How do you think we can make this a win-win?
Nice.
And then sit there and don't say anything for 30 seconds. So,
Okay,
for an uncomfortably long amount of time.
okay.
That's my
This one will be an email, but I get you like don't talk over them, like force them to think, or not force it, but like allow them time to think, right?
yes, yes. Allow them to speak first.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay, okay. Interesting. Okay,
Don't propose anything.
okay. I love you so much. Thank you so much for being on the team. I'm
Oh,
serious.
no, no, this is so great. This is really great. I love this. What other problems do you
I know,
have?
like, making a video on problems is kind of weird, but like, I'm also gonna make one with my producer Billy, and it's like
Mhm.
he was joking because I was like, I got problems. I was like, I got 99 problems, and he's like, and you're at all of them. That's totally my producer.
Oh, snap. That's real philosophical.
Yeah,
And they're all in your mind.
exactly, exactly. Okay. But the school definitely wouldn't be where it was without you. And I think people should know that you've been on the team since we started the school, and like you're one of my biggest advisors because you're a manifester and you're a go-getter and you are a problem solver and you're a Sun Mars person just like I am. And it's like we attack problems, we don't give up.
Yeah, yeah, we do.
Okay, so the next one, and these all kind of tie together, but is I can only market so much. So it's like I'm kind of solving this one on my own because in starting the formal YouTube channel where I'm going to do astrological remediation in 119 videos, on the end of all of those videos, I'm making for Moira Press classes and events, go to AndreaGehrz.com events page. Like I want to start marketing the events page so I don't have to go on Facebook and market the events. Like I don't have time to be on Facebook and YouTube and you know what I'm saying? So it's like I think we need to market the events page and get everyone like really stoked on the events page. I don't know, what do you think?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Because and that's the thing too. I think that these videos will be something that will be long lasting, and I think that now the website is all worked up. I think it's great. Shane did such a good job. And like the events page is great. It doesn't seem maybe to take a lot of effort to keep it up to date. So it's always up to date. And that is a great resource to have a link to put in the channel of always, yeah, and always have a thing to refer to people. I think it'd be great to have like a little outro on your videos so then people, if they're watching them, they'll and even if they're not watching them but they have them on in the background as they're like folding their laundry or whatever, they'll get that as a signifier. It'll reinforce it one more time. They'll know to go over and hit the next video button. And yeah, I think it would be a great thing. And yeah, you should start getting a little bit cookie cutter on some of the video production so that it will have a good theme. I love the thumbnails that you're making. Those
Mm,
are awesome.
yeah,
And yeah, it's just it's seeming really good.
yeah.
And I agree that the events page should be a kind of hub for people to know what is happening and what to go to next.
Okay, nice. Yeah, I like what you're saying, getting cookie cutter, and I think like all the videos should at the end should have the end outro. It's like find the school here, find the events page, AndreaGehrz.com on the end of every video. I'm gonna have to figure out if I can edit Zoom video. I'm just getting a little bit better at the like my charts going through like video production, TV production like all year long. So I'm like getting just a little bit better each day, but okay, okay, I'll go cookie cutter on that and the events page as a hub. So yeah, I think I'm just gonna mad market the events page instead of one event at the time at a time, and like people are gonna have to get um sufficient at finding the events because it's like we are busy on YouTube, but we have a whole school going on in the background with awesome events. Like the remediation reading group has just been rad. Like now that people are filtering in from the remediation lecture at Kepler, like we're just getting all these people filtering in and things like that. And so it's like it is getting more magical and robust, but it's like coming in through the events page. So I want to train people onto the events page and not train them onto my Facebook, which I used to train them over to Facebook and then tell everyone everything, you know? So that
Oh
was
yeah.
just logistical, really, huh?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, the email should direct them to the events page. Facebook can just direct them to the events page. But I do like the synopsis that you put on Facebook at the beginning of the week to kind of say these are the things going on because it does let there be, a post every week that people can refer to that's not like so down in the feed. But also and it's a reminder, I think that's the whole repetition. Uh Oh, here's another phrase I heard lately in some of these management and leadership trainings that I've been taking.
Mm,
It takes five to come alive.
what's that mean?
You, you heard that one?
No.
You have to repeat something 5 times before it sinks in for people.
Oh, times to come. Nice. Okay, so they're gonna have to see 5 videos with the link to the event. I want to make a little video showing them how to go to the events page. I have to figure out how to make a video of my screen. But like maybe I can do that in Zoom or something and make a little video of my screen.
Oh yeah.
Showing them
Yeah,
going to the events page. I think that'll be more effective than, it's like I just want to show them, be like, here it is, like so I'll work on that. You know, these things percolate and then when I have time they come out, but like the thumbnails, that was percolating for weeks, but don't you think those thumbnails are freaking epic?
yeah, yeah, they're awesome. Yeah,
Yeah,
they're good.
yeah.
Yeah. And so I love the Harlequin background. I love your stripy sleeves. I love the blue lipstick.
Check out my
Is
my unicorns howling at the moon shirt.
oh yeah, that oh my
Dude,
god.
my Pisces
That
moon square Neptune is like a total circus. And like this brings me to my next problem is that I keep getting critiqued by Virgos. And this has been going on for years. And I'm not trying to be mean to be Virgos. And in fact, someone got really mad at me because I talked about Virgos critiquing me and it made them really mad. But the thing is, I don't have any earth in my chart and I'm a Pisces moon square Neptune. So my style is like opposite of Virgo. It's like all colors and maximalist is the term you taught me. And like, it's like a circus and like everything's kind of gaudy and weird and like, and so it's like the Virgos see my stuff and they're always like, oh, well, there's stripes against the Harlequin background. That is too much. And then they're like, oh, I don't like the color on that thing. And there's too much color over there. And like, there's something about Virgo energy where they act like they're right. Like, and I'm wrong. Like, and it's just like, well, the clean line Virgo spreadsheet just doesn't do it for me. Like, I'm a Pisces moon square Neptune. So it's like, what am I supposed to do about the Virgo line of critique? And I shouldn't critique Virgos for critiquing me. It's like a meta critique. You know what I mean?
yeah, that kind of is. And I do think that the people who are giving you this advice, I don't know that they're really telling you this is what you have to do. And I think what they're trying to say is like, in my style, in my you know contribution or my world, that was a little jarring. But I don't think you have to take their critiques too much to heart, and maybe also that they don't mean it in a way that maybe it's coming across to you. That they're actually are trying to be extremely helpful because they want to save you from making what they perceive to be a mistake, or like, or maybe not even a mistake. They just want the best for you. So they're telling you from their perspective the best.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, it's just I like to celebrate the beauty of every sign, but it's like I don't. I'm so sick of Virgos because they are attracted to me. Virgo, there's something about the opposition. Like my baby daddy has 4 planets in Virgo, and he's a Sun Mars conjunction in Leo. So I got bombastically critiqued by a Virgo for like 15 years. So I'm like, I have like a little bit of Virgo trauma of just like, oh, another critique about my lettering, and like it's just always like micro critiques about the style. Whereas like I'm doing all this conceptual work and writing books that have never lived, and like thinking of concepts that have never lived, and like I'm doing all this stuff, and like I'm trying to do something new and different, and then I get like micro critiqued about little details, and I'm just like, like I can't.
Well, okay. So I think there's two, maybe we can separate it into two things. One is non-consensual critiquing, and the other is solicitation of feedback, right? And so the non-consensual critiquing is like somebody who thinks they can tell you what to do, and like that they're going to tell you because they're a, sun square Mars, and they're going to tell you, and they do think that they know everything and you shouldn't do it that way. And then I think maybe it will be important not to conflate that with like asking somebody for like, hey, what do you think about this? And then also put boundaries around it. Say, I'm not looking for a style critique. What I'm looking for is like, do you think this is a good like direction, or are there other, like maybe you can somehow ask for the kind of feedback that you want, and then you won't get triggered about what kind of feedback they give you on things that you don't want feedback on.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, part of me, I'm a professional artist and I've been at this for 25 years, and like part of me is beyond critique. Well, part of my hallucinations and my schizophrenia is like my schizophrenia is beautiful because it creates visions. That's my Pisces moon square Neptune, and like Jupiter's hitting it right now. I'm starting to get visions for my YouTube page, right? And it's like the visions come up in the right side of my head, and they're like clay. Like I'm watching this show about an autistic doctor, and he gets all these visions of bodies and stuff like that. Like I get visions of charts. I have like 6,000 charts I can see visions of, and like I consider myself more of like the savant style of autism, like where it's but what makes me overstim and like literally have emotional breakdowns and tantrums that look like a 2-year-old is that I'll have a vision, and something is preventing this vision from being put on earth. Like it might be if someone critiques my vision, and it makes me change that, I'm like, no, like I get like an overstim like a toddler, because the vision I'm being shown is like my what I'm supposed to put out now. Like I was born to do this thing. Like I don't really feel like my chart has a lot of free will. Like so when I get critiques, it's like they're actually fighting God for me, because it's like God is sending me a vision, or something is sending me the vision right on time to the transit, and then these people think they're going to change it with a critique, and I'm like, can you just get out of my way? But like I'm just like, move aside please, like of the vision coming through, move aside. Like because it's until I get the vision out, I'm like stuck like this, it's like. And so people are like, act normal, act normal. I'm like, I am not normal. Like I can almost seem normal, but like, how much coffee I drink? It's a tick or a stim. Like, when you look at autistic kids and they stim tick, it's like, that's me picking up my cup like 1,000. It's like a stim. Like I'm actually not quite normal. So when I get critiqued, like it causes like tantrum, like overstim sometimes, when it depends on my transit and what's going on, but like when I have one of these visions, like I'm not really open to critiques, like, you know, closed.
Yeah, no, I agree, and I understand what you're saying completely. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Like,
I go ahead.
no, you go.
Well, I was gonna say I went to grad school for design for 1 semester, and then I was like, all right, I really don't like you critiquing me, and I think like my artistic vision is fine, and why am I paying you to go to grad school for this? And yeah, so I completely understand what you're saying to be like not open to artistic critique.
Well, and the thing is, though, Jay-Z, it's like, okay, like a lot of people don't even know about like these albums that I've made. Like this is the Moira 14 album. This is the Discharge Information System album. But you saw
Mhm.
my band Dis like touring, and like we were insanely awesome, right? And like
Oh
this
yeah,
album is epic. This thing is like Chopin level. I mean, like, you're not supposed to say that, but you know what? That was my vision coming through me. And it's like, if I would have
yeah,
let critiques get in the middle of these things wouldn't exist. And it's like, I think real artists that are built by God to do art are like, we have a visioning issue. Like, call it schizophrenia, call it savantism, whatever we call it, but we have a visioning issue here, people. And
yeah,
like, don't mess with my vision.
yeah, yeah. No, I'm with you, and I know how annoying it is. Also, like uh, that some people just will never get or appreciate your vision or your sense of style or anything like that. Like,
Yeah.
my 92-year-old father complains about the way I look still. I'm like, could you like get it through your head that I'm not gonna change? Like,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
will never appreciate my style. Like, can we just leave it there?
Well, and I think astrologers are more along the lines of, if you have a good composite chart with me, you will like my art. Like that's how I'm at this point where I'm dealing with big numbers of the crowd. Like it's like if 100 people, like, it's hard to explain, but it's like there's always going to be enough composite charts that like it, that it's like I have to authentically create and then let everyone decide if they like or don't like. It's like, and that's not a
Yeah,
critique. That's just everyone gets to decide that about all art projects. We don't all like the same things, and that's fine.
yeah, yeah. All right, what's your next problem?
Um, okay, so this one we've already kind of talked about it, but I want to talk about it a little bit more generally. I work for free a lot, and yet I feel that I work for God. Okay, so it's like, people say you shouldn't work for free, but I don't do chart readings for free. I don't like interface with the public for free, like, or like, but like, like marketing or making these videos for YouTube, I'm doing for free. Basically, I'm like trying to saturate, the astrologers with the remediation so that all astrologers know how to remedy things in the chart. I'm like, it's time for everyone to know what remedies are. Like, come on, like we got this, people, like, but it's like I have to do a lot of work for free. I mean, the idea is hopefully that the YouTube page will eventually be monetized and like, and it will also market the school and stuff like that. But like, is it codependent to work your life away at something for free? You know what I mean?
Well, I guess it depends if there's something you'd rather be doing. Because, like, you get up in the morning and the sun hits your eyes and you gotta do something. Right?
Right.
So would you rather, I mean, it seems to me that you get a lot out of doing things that you consider worthwhile and useful and good for the world, and they you got to do something every day anyway. So is it like, are you getting value out of that, or are you doing it begrudgingly? Are you doing it with the expectation that you will get something in the future and then that doesn't manifest? Do you live with regret about ways that you've spent your time?
No, I mean, what I've figured out how to do is make enough money for my bills and food every day, and then just work 8 to 4, but make enough money. And then if I have like 3 hours, then I do free work, but I have to do a certain amount of free work a day to actually get through the day because of the school requires me to do so much free work and I have to build the calendar and then I have to do that. You know, it's like it's I guess in some ways I'm trying to look at it as like, and Shane's helping me with this. There are monetized hours I do, like a chart reading, you know, and that actually I only work for money a certain amount of hours a day, but I work an 8 hour work day. And it all, you know, like some of the work we do is just not paid. That, but it all kind of works out in the wash for like, I have an hourly rate probably that averages out kind of thing, you know? So maybe it's, I think it's a lot of it's that I'm just doing what it takes to run the school. Like it's like not even like, do I have a choice? I don't really have a choice. Like if the thing's gonna function, then I gotta do these things, you know. But I think you're right. Like there's nothing I would rather be doing. Because the way I see it is like I work for God. Like God created me to do this, and so I work for God, not for like I work for this amount of money or per hour. It's like I work out of the love of my heart for what the creator's created in me, and then I let the creator provide back to me. And you know, like so I work like this and let the money come back like this.
Mhm.
Do you think that's
Yeah.
done it?
Yeah, no, I think that's definitely right. And anyway, so they've also done these scientific studies, right? I take this thing called the Course in Happiness, or what's it called by the Greater Good. I don't know, whatever. They have some research institute at Berkeley or whatever, and they did all these studies worldwide and found out like how much money it was that like after a certain amount of money you make you're not any happier,
Mm, interesting.
right? And they did say what the number was. And of course, you have to adjust it for uh where your geographical location is, what your country is, or something like that. And to me, it sounded like super low, but it was, I think, around $75,000 a year or something like that.
Uh,
But for like I don't know. So I'm just throwing out numbers. People should just really research this on their own. Fact check me on this. But there is a studies out there. But I guess my point is that yeah, after you make the money that you need to take care of all your needs and be happy, right? Because you can like that's what they found. Like, can money buy happiness? Absolutely. Because if you don't have enough money, there's no way you can be happy because you're still struggling to survive. Like, if you ask somebody who can't afford food, like, will money buy you happiness? They'll be like, hell's yeah, because it'll buy me enough food to like
yeah,
get to a point where I can be happy,
yeah.
right? But after a certain point, no. And so I guess the question for you to yourself is, am I making enough money to be happy? And after that, what do I do with my time? And if growing a school makes you happy, then spending time to grow a school is not missing out on making money.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Interesting. Okay, cool. Okay, cool. Yeah, because I do make, I think I'm not at that level where I can just chill and be happy, you know what I mean? But I think maybe that could be one of the things I'm manifesting is to get to that level where I'm not worried about money, where I'm just chilling and being happy. Like it's just like we're chilling now. Like Andy's got enough, and so everyone's chilling because, but everyone is chilling. It's not like I'm really stressed about money's not one of my problems actually. It's more the cost benefit analysis of like using my time in certain ways like we got a queue that we're working right like and it's like I'm trying to figure out the queue is it's like but like do my students make me happy 100% like do you see how none of our problems are like people problem like I love all the students at the school like I love working with people love reading their charts I love teaching it's like all of that it's not that it's more just like I think we've actually covered all the problems. Were any of the problems crazy or like insurmountable?
Oh, it doesn't sound like it, right? Yeah. It sounds like we're yeah. They're all just folding on each other too, Like I think this one harkens back to the one about um the teachers of other classes and whether or not you get a lot of students. And I think this is somewhere in that same area is like, am I being valued for my time and effort? Am I being taken advantage of? Am I taking advantage of other people? Like, what is it like? How does this all fit into, like, I don't know, the social paradigm of life and what it is to live a good life?
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I really cherish the friendships that I have and that we all run the school together. I think the people part of it, we're doing awesome, you know. But do you think I'm a drama queen after this episode?
No, no, but did this episode follow any formula about tension buildup uh then
Release. Well, I
re-
think every problem is a tension. Like we had multiple tensions in the video. We're like, what's Jesse gonna say, or what's Jay-Z gonna say? And they're like, and then you totally figured out the problem, and we're like, whoa,
yeah, I think we can figure out any problems. I think we're good.
nice. Maybe next week you want to talk about your problems.
Oh, all right. Yeah, maybe I'll drum up some dramatic problems to have.
It'd be fun for me to try to figure out your problems. I'd be like pulling up your chart the whole time mentally. I'd be like, well, your transit. No, I don't know what I would do.
I don't know what will be my transits next week. I'll have to look at that. We'll see.
Well, thank you. I'm gonna call this
All right.
video "We've Got Problems."
Solved.
Nice. Oh yeah, we got problems. All right, I
All
love
right.
you.
I love you, Andy.
All right, bye.